We don't deserve this anime. Yup, I just repeated the title of this video. But I will say it's been a good while since I've been this genuinely excited for something new to drop. And by a while, I mean 2 seasons because, well, Frieren and the Apothecary Diaries were something. And if you've been around on this channel long enough, I've been glazing both of them harder than Solo Leveling fans glazing Sung Jin Woo's Arise. But trust me when I say this is a different type of excitement. Because this upcoming anime movie is from an author that I've been following for a really long time. The unhinged guy that thinks he can levitate, or once ate his pet goldfish out of sadness, or found out that he likes being bullied by girls, or pretends to be his imaginary little sister on Twitter as his official account. The man's creativity truly comes with a side of weirdness. The man, the myth, the legend, Tatsuki Fujimoto. Wee, wow, look at me, I can fly. The very well-known mangaka of Chainsaw Man and Fire Punch. Aside from the mainstream works, there's really something special about his writing that, well, you can only appreciate if you read his one-shots. In fact, I personally love his one-shots more than his serialized works like Chainsaw Man. I don't know why, but a short story with layers and layers of messages just gets me. It's like trying to understand, say, a Miyazaki movie. Almost feels like a fever dream after. You either end the story with what incarnation did I just read or watch, thinking it's hot garbage, or you spend the next few days watching or reading it over and over again trying to find some sort of meaning, because no matter what you find at the start, it doesn't end up being satisfying. Or maybe there just isn't a satisfying explanation like his other one-shots would put it. Just enjoy the story for what it is, just listen to the song. Despite a story being only 1 chapter long, well, in Fujimoto's case, that 1 chapter being a 143-something page roller coaster that made me tear up on every read. And I can't believe that same one-shot is now getting a full-on anime movie adaptation. But before we get to just why I'm so excited about some moving drawing, to give you guys a quick idea of the premise behind this, it basically follows 2 amateur young artists, Fujino and Kiyomoto. That sounds familiar. Anyways, yeah, these 2 artists competing with each other, finding out slowly that they look up to each other, and in the process becoming the closest of friends, pushing one another to keep improving, reach new heights, until a drastic and tragic event that, well, changes everything. To avoid spoilers, I'll leave it at that so you fellow cultured people can enjoy it for yourselves. But what really appealed to me was the fact that despite being a quote-unquote such a short story, I was attached to these 2 artists. It ended up being a story that strikes home for artists, and not just of the drawing type really, for anyone out there that is trying or has tried to pursue what they love. And Fujimoto literally being a mangaka who's had an entire life pursuing art, it's something very personal that lets us explore his headspace while being able to relate to it. On one layer, it ends up being a bittersweet story of regrets. If we could take back one thing, just one thing, that could have changed the outcome of where we are now, what we're doing, would we do it? Would I go back in time and convince my younger self, maybe Oreimo, my little sister can't be this cute, isn't the best first romance anime to start with? Nah, I wouldn't. And just for you cheeky people, if you have seen the word on the top right corner of the first page, don't, and the words at the bottom left of the last page, in anger, combining it with the title Look Back, you get Don't Look Back in Anger, a reference to the song by Oasis. Much like Fujino's journey through the story of not looking back in anger, instead embracing her happy memories with Kiyomoto and looking forward, a story about ultimately moving on. And that gives us the other layer to the story of insecurities and motivation.
何してんだ私。じゃあ、藤野ちゃんはなんで書いてるの？
Why we do what we do, namely our passion. Do we do it as a future career prospect or because we love it or maybe because we're good at it? And that changing throughout the times as we grow older, we may keep going or keep it casual or sometimes forget it completely. Look Back explores both metaphorically and literally our reasons for living and doing things through Fujino and Kiyomoto's bond. A lot of people also chalk it up to be inspired by the Kyoto Animation arson attack for a reason, where the man was reportedly going around stabbing employees before leaving the building to burn in a fire. And as a result, a lot of people at the end of the day losing their loved ones. Those same people feeling lost and looking back with regret that maybe, just maybe if they could go back in the past and change something, stop the man from doing what he did. By the end of it really, as with a lot of other Fujimoto works, you end up asking yourself what really happened and what didn't. Probably how I imagine a schizo feels like. A lot of interpretations and theories, not just about the story but also Fujimoto's crazy thought process as an artist and a storyteller. And you know that man is good as an artist and a writer if he can make so many people do that, so many people get invested in what he's thinking. Seeing a potentially multi-layered narrative like that come to life even better on the big screen in a movie theater is really exciting. And that brings us back to the title of this video. Haha, look back at the title. You get it? Look back. Okay, I'll stop. The reason I say this is because Fujimoto's adaptation of Chainsaw Man got a lot of roast and disappointment even though it was his own vision. Simply because it wasn't like your other shonen anime. It wasn't as bright, supposedly colorful, moe and anime-ish, and how people basically headcanoned it to be. I'm just hoping if this gets popular enough, the same won't happen to this. Because if you've seen the preview, it's definitely a really unique animation and art style. I mean, just look at how they animate the background along with the characters, the perspectives, the rough outlines. This is gonna be so raw. And I mean that in a good way. And the voice acting isn't like your average moe anime voice acting. It sounds like a realistic conversation type between people that you would normally hear in Japan. No forced oni-chan or yamete kudasai is what I'm saying. God damn it, that made me voice crack. But yeah, and just a warning, I'm ready to be depressed yet again. And I hope you guys are too, because the manga killed me emotionally. And I'm really hoping we get this in Australia as well. Or if you live in the States or Asia or just anywhere in general, really. Just quick international release. Yeah, that's about it. Like and subscribe. Peace.
私、部屋から出てよかった。すごく楽しかった。